Good evening. Gore police are looking for Shade Palmer King, a 25-year-old male shearer from Mataura who was in breach of his court bail conditions. At just after 7 p.m. last night, police were called to the intersection of Wentworth and Oxford Streets in Gore regarding two males who appeared to be attempting to break into a car. On arrival, police located three males. Two of them spoke with police and explained they were not stealing the vehicle but were fixing it. The third, Mr. Palmer King, ran off. Police gave chase and caught Palmer King. During the resulting tussle, police officer discharged his taser in close contact. The taser was not effective and Palmer King escaped. Anyone who knows the whereabouts of Shade Palmer King should contact the Gore Police directly or confidentially by phoning 0800 555 111 on the Crime Stoppers line. Dairy prices showed signs of stabilising at the latest global dairy trade auction overnight, with the main price index slipping by just 0.6%. Dairy farmers will be encouraged by a 3.4% gain to just over $2,800 per tonne of whole milk powder at last night's auction. Overall, the global dairy trade price eased slightly to $3,000, down $25 a tonne on a fortnight ago. Earlier this month, Fonterra cut its 2014 to 15 farm gate milk price forecast by $1 to $6 a kilogram of milk solids in response to significant declines in the wholesale market. The fall in milk solid prices has been attributed to a decline in the number of Chinese buyers who overstocked on milk powder last year because of concerns Chinese regulation of infant formula could restrict supply. The Department of Conservation battle for our birds pest control operation in the Waikaia forest began today.
The Waikaia operation in northern Southland is one of 22 confirmed operations that will use aerially applied 1080 over about 600,000 hectares of conservation land to knock down rising predator numbers fuelled by unusually heavy seeding in South Island beech forests. The Waikaia poison drop is aimed at protecting threatened mohua populations along with long-tailed bats, robins, yellow-crowned parakeets, Hector's tree daisies, large land snails and velvet worms over just under 7,000 hectares of the forest. Doc Catlin's Service Ranger Cheryl Puller says monitoring results show significant silver birch seed fall in the area and rapidly rising rat and mice numbers. Today, non-toxic cereal pellets have been applied to the treatment area, which encourages pests to more readily eat the pellets. The toxic pellets, laced with the biodegradable poison 1080, will be spread across the target area during the next spell of clear weather.
Foreign anglers are set to pay a higher price to fish New Zealand's rivers. Fish and Game is launching new licences for overseas anglers who visit to fish for more than a day or so. The non-residence licence, or NRL, will cost $160, a third more than Kiwis pay, and non-residence anglers who could face prosecution if caught fishing with anything other than an NRL or 24-hour licence. The move is to ensure international anglers pay their fair share towards management of fisheries, and the extra revenue has been ring-fenced to be used on backcountry fisheries, which non-resident anglers favour. A project that will beautify the community and give artists a profile plus income has been launched by Chorus in a bid to discourage tagging. The Cabinet Art Programme is being coordinated by Invercargill City Council, and local artists are encouraged to submit artworks before Chorus make the final choices. Artists will have to be quick though, because entries close on the 19th of September.
Chorus approached council to bring their cabinet art program to Invercargill, and so we have identified 10 chorus cabinets that have been graffitied repeated times, and this one 6 times, which is most unfortunate. So the program reduces the graffiti attacks and in fact usually stops the attacks, and so we're really pleased to be able to offer artists the opportunity to produce a piece of art which they will then paint onto the cabinet, and they can sign it and put their website, and it will be graffiti coated, and it will beautify our city. It gives the artist a profile. It will be published in could be published in the Chorus calendar, and it's just all good news.
So they actually get paid to do it as well?
They do get paid to do it. So a cabinet this size is around $1,000, and then they get paid for the brushes and the paint and the graffiti coat on top of that. And there's one larger cabinet and that's going to be about 1,500 because it's a bit bigger than this one.
What do you estimate the costs would be for Chorus to have to keep these graffiti free?
Well, they have told us that over a 5-year period, the cost of doing the program pays back for the cost of the graffiti removal. So it's a really good investment for them.
Is there any particular genre of art that you're looking for?
Well, Chorus make the decisions, and certainly we encourage the artists to think about which box they might like to have their art on, and perhaps they could do something that relates to that part of Invercargill. They don't have to, but that's just one thought. Certainly, Chorus are very clear that they don't want anything that resembles graffiti styles of art, although spray can executed art is fine, but just nothing that looks like that graffiti style.
Still to come, we catch up with Venture Southland Chief Executive Paul Casson on Venture's business plan and recent changes in governance. Welcome back. Venture Southland boss Paul Casson says his organisation is achieving targets and is well placed to answer questions about outcomes from all the groups that contribute to the $5 million required by Venture each calendar year. Venture Southland has just had its business plan approved for 2014 to 15. Hunter Andrews asked Mr Casson about his organisation and recent changes in governance.
Venture Southland we work with our stakeholders, which is the Invercargill City Council, Southland District Council and Gore District Council, together with Community Trust, to have a plan that looks not only for the 12-month period but also outwards, looking at strategically as well to projects that will benefit the community, benefit our people in the community and also benefit the region.
What has changed with Venture Southland, what has changed at the governance level?
Governance, with regards to governance, we've actually had a change of probably title, and also as part of a heads of agreement, we've looked at the structure of Venture Southland as well. So we've gone from a directorate to a joint committee of council. Very similar in terms of the process of appointments, and we also have a joint committee which is now the advisory subcommittee. So there's a new structure, new councillors also on board as well. So it's about making sure that we are briefing the councils and their representatives on what Venture is doing for the region.
Was there a feeling that perhaps that wasn't happening, or why? Is this just the evolution of the organisation?
I think it's the evolution of the organisation. The councils are very happy with obviously Venture Southland in terms of its direction. The organisation is seen very positively nationally as well as an EDA that is actually achieving a lot of positives for the region, and also a model that's actually being replicated through the rest of New Zealand and some regions as a model that is taking on business and also community as well. And that's critical, I think, for our region, that we have a focus on the community and also on business.
How hard is it to quantify results, success within Venture? I mean, how do you quantify aspects in the community, yes, ranging from business to even just feel-good factors amongst Southland?
I think it's very clear in our new document, our business plan. That's been one of the questions that councillors do ask us as well. So how many tourists are coming to the region? How many visitors are coming? How many businesses? How many jobs are being created in in Southland, and also in Invercargill and Gore, and what is happening? We are able to quantify a lot of that through the metrics that we do use through Stats New Zealand and tourism, and working with local operators as well. This year we've created a new advisory group within the tourism industry. We have a business group, we have an advisory group, and also in tourism we're able to talk to the operators and say what is happening, for example, in the tourism sector, in the accommodation sector, what is happening in the community, and we work with central government to attract additional funds to the region, which is on top of obviously council funding to us, to be able to deliver some of the outcomes. And some of those outcomes could be, dare I say, wellbeing outcomes, which was a topic of debate 18 months ago about how good the region is feeling about itself, how good the community is feeling about itself, how confident people are in jobs and employment, and also how confident businesses also within the region. And what are we producing as a region that is changing the lives of Southlanders and people living in our communities?
I think we were talking off camera, you've been here a couple of years. What changes have you seen within Venture? Are they stark changes or just subtle changes in the direction of the organisation?
I think from Venture Southland we've seen a tremendous change. We've had quite a few turnover staff. and we've put new systems in place, new business principles in place. We've got new accounting structures. It's very transparent. I say we're probably as transparent as a jellyfish. So we are very transparent. We deliver a business plan. We have a lot of engagement now with regards to stakeholder engagement out there, and the teams are out of the office. And I think that's one of the questions from the council is, if we're bogged down reporting all the time, my focus is that I'd rather have our teams out talking to business, working with central government and operators to ensure that we totally understand what is happening within the region. So I think our engagement has got stronger, structure has got stronger. We certainly have a talented team of people with the right skills to deliver, I think, exactly what the plan is forecasted for the next 12 months and for the next 5 years to 10 years.
So you're getting that buy-in from all those organisations we talked about at the beginning of the interview that contribute in some way to venture. You feel that you're getting that buy-in from them?
Very much so. I think there's a real change in the last 2 years, that there's a lot of engagement. We're seeing a lot more people coming through Venture Southland from industry as well, and obviously we're getting that feedback as well that we are on the right track. I think the business plan that we've got has attracted a lot of positive feedback in terms of how we present our stats. One of the biggest things that people do say, what do we do? It's actually very hard to quantify, but certainly is quantifiable in our business plan. But we have to allow for changes in the economy. So if we do see a financial squeeze, our dollar is coming down. For exporters, that's good. In the last probably fortnight, we've seen the dollar move from 93 to 90.4 this morning, and that's going to add. That's good for exporters. It's not so good for importers, for people travelling overseas, but that is good for us in terms of probably for our export-led economy, but also for tourism as well. For people coming to New Zealand, there's more money for people to be able to spend.
Coming up on sport, post-test match reaction from the All Blacks draw with Australia on Saturday night. That is after the weather next from the news team. Good night.